Scholar.
I think very deeply.
Sinner.
You make me feel so
Scholar.
You guys
I
can't see
think
Josh
very
dancing, but it's
deeply.
awesome. It's awesome.
Sinner.
He's getting his boogie on.
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Derrick Pierce. Welcome to the Scholar and the Sinner Show. To my opposing side is
Today I am Kipalai Volkov, you guys. Kipalai Volkov.
the
Yes.
Black Russian.
Yes, the Black Russian, absolutely. You know,
It's a drink.
is it a drink?
I think so.
Well, I don't drink, so
I don't drink
know
either,
shit
but-
about Black Russians. Is that a thing though?
I think it might be a drug.
Are there
actually.
any? Are there any?
Oh, is
black,
it white Russian?
White
Why
Russian.
can't it be a Black Russian?
Yeah. So is that what we doing? We racially divided now. We can't have Black Russians. Is that what you're trying to say, Josh? Yeah. Okay. Well,
Are
I
there
agree
Black
with you.
Russians?
It's too cold in fucking Russia for Black people. We are a tropical people, brother.
I know.
We got Jews.
I know there's black people in Colorado, so why would
They're
in
like
Buffalo?
They're
There's
like
a gang
five,
of black people in Buffalo.
Every black person in Buffalo is on the Buffalo Bills.
Wow, that's fucked up.
Yeah, that's just the truth.
That's
There are like
fucked up.
5 black people in Colorado. 6. It gets too cold. Sorry.
So there's no Black Russians.
Probably
I'm gonna
not.
Google that shit. Is there's black people
I
in
bet
Russia?
I bet you there's some Black Russians out there.
I'm gonna do
though.
the white boy thing.
Yeah, go and Google away.
Black
Russians.
people in Russia.
Well, hello, beautiful humans. while this guy is over
How
here.
was your weekend, dog?
Largely uneventful. We were supposed to be on a ride, and my Claire Hux, that's the name of my bike. She broke down.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I was stranded at the gas station while you guys were
That's
out.
what happens when
while
you
my
buy
friends,
that redneck bike.
My friends were out doing hood rat shit. I'm
We
stranded
were
at the
doing a
gas
little
station.
bit of hood rat shit.
You know, I tried to do some hood rat shit with my friends, but I just couldn't. My friends were out doing hood rat shit without me.
Because you bought the wrong bike.
Hey man, my bike is a beautiful, beautiful piece of machinery.
It doesn't run.
And American engineering. This is America. Fuck yeah.
First off, drop the A.
American.
Yeah.
It's American.
You know Harley's not making motorcycles in the United States anymore, right?
Then is it still American?
I don't think so.
Okay, well then where's the
I think
Harley?
they moved production out of the country.
So where is Harley Davidson now?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm just saying. I mean, it could be Mexican. Like, I'll be happy if it's Mexican. This is Mexican. I'm with that shit, right? If they have a factory in Mexico, I'll be more than happy to ride a Mexican Harley Davidson. It's still American. I'm just saying,
Then
though.
it'll be a Harley. It's a Harley Davidson.
It's a Harley Davidson. Still dope, though. I'm not mad. Hey. I love Mexican people, right?
Yeah, I like Mexican
Are you
people
still
too.
looking up that dumb shit?
No, I'm looking up for Harley Davidson.
Okay, because I thought you
It
were
says
looking for Black Russians.
Wisconsin and Missouri, but Missouri was closing, and they're moving to Brazil.
Oh, Brazil. Nah, see, we can't have Brazilian. I'm not riding a Brazilian motorcycle, bro.
I'll ride a gang of other Brazilian things.
Oh,
Hey.
hey.
So you dropped your bike off at our boy's shop.
Yeah, the good people at I3 Riders.
That's not the good people at I3 Riders.
good-
it's
good
Coastline
person.
Motorsports.
Coastside Motorsports. Big, a.k.a. Big Josh, the homie
Okay.
hookup. Yeah, I just took it to my brother's house and left it there.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I'll be back on the road again.
not
want me to start
riding
singing?
with us.
What? See, don't start talking shit, man.
Why don't you just quit fucking around and get a bagger?
No, man, no. I'm not getting a bagger because everybody's got baggers.
Not everybody.
Okay? Look, man, you tease me for having a white boy bike when you have the blackest bike, one of the blackest bikes in the whole fucking club.
Stop
it.
Why are you racially profiling my motorcycle?
What? Your bike is damn near. It looks like a 65-year-old brother should be on that bike listening to
Why has it got
fucking
to be
Computer
senior
Love.
citizen? I would totally listen to Computer Love on my bike, by the way. Shit would be
Riding
banging.
down the freeway listening to Computer Love, just
I
banging.
absolutely would do that shit.
Boom,
Computer Love. I would do
Dum,
that shit. Don't be a fucking hater
No, I'm
because
just
you
saying.
got headphones.
Look, man, don't worry about my headphone action. Headphones is cool, man. Look,
You ain't
don't
shit.
be mad. Look, you know what it is? I think that people would imagine you on my bike and me on your bike.
Probably.
Yeah.
Don't be mad because I got a 26-inch front wheel.
Look, man, I got custom paint.
Don't be mad because you're smaller than mine.
See, that just defies the stereotype because,
I'm just-
I'm a black man, so just by nature, by natural selection, I am bigger than you are.
If you say so.
I'm just saying, hey.
I'm
hey,
just saying.
Hey.
Mine rolls deeper than yours.
That's
See what I did there?
Yeah, yeah.
Hey.
That's called a stereotype, ladies. Go ahead and slide into the DMs. I am single. You can slide away, ladies.
It's a short slide.
Slide. It'll be the shortest slide of your life. You will love it. It'll be 5 minutes of heaven.
5 minutes?
Yeah, exactly.
It'll be 2 minutes of you working and
what
3
it-
minutes of you
what it-
explaining why there was only 2 minutes of work.
What does Smokey say? 5 minutes, maybe even 4. You be wanting to marry a nigga. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, my
That's what Smokey
God.
said. So
All right, man. So listen, I just want to jump into it because I don't want to lose time. We always run out of time, and something came up, and I just started thinking about the interactions that we have. And I'm not calling you this, right? But it did pop into my head as how sensitive is too sensitive.
Great question.
Because I want to talk about things like toxic masculinity, but the truth is I haven't done enough research on it. We haven't had a chance to actually dive into it. But it did bring up the thought of how sensitive is too sensitive. Right. Anybody that's seen us converse knows that I go ham like all the fucking time, right? And you're such a nice person 75% of the time.
Yeah. Sometimes I can be a little bit of a scumbag, but for the most part, hey, hold on,
Closet
man.
scumbag.
For the most part, I am the straight man, and you are.
Did you just call me gay? I feel like you just called me gay.
See, how sensitive is too sensitive, right? I say the word straight, and automatically you make the cognitive association with me calling you gay.
So you're calling me gay? It's pretty fucked up, kid.
Did you hear that? I said I'm the straight man, and he automatically assumed that meant I was calling. What's wrong with being gay? It's 2020. This is the no judgment zone, okay? You can be gay if you want to be, right?
I had the weirdest shit that does not sound good, starting a story about a gay guy, right? I went to see, a long-ass time ago, I went to see one of my friends perform, and the girls that I was with told me that my boy Paul was going to be performing with a singer. Right? He was a dancer.
Right.
And I was like, where's it at? And they were like, it's in Long Beach. Okay. And I was like, oh, cool, we'll go. And it was over a weekend. And I'm like, well, what is the thing? And they were like,
it was a drag show, wasn't it?
They were like, it's a festival thing. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, yeah, let's go. I mean, it was cool. And I was like, what kind of festival is it? And they were like, you'll see when you get there, and we'll just go, and it'll be fun. We'll watch Paul perform, and we'll fucking bounce. And I'm like, yeah, all right, cool. And so I keep asking them. They keep fucking avoiding the goddamn question. And I get there, and it's like, welcome to the Gay and Lesbian Pride Festival. And I was like, that's something y'all could have told me. Not because I have a problem with it, but I would just like to know what kind of a fucking arena I'm going in.
I mean, outside of like the perception, right?
Yeah.
It would be kind of nice to know what movie you're going to before you get to the fucking movie, right? Instead of just being blindsided by, like me, I don't like watching Saw movies, bro. I'm cool on that gory shit. Like, tell me before I get there.
The reason why I bring it up is not because it's
Did
gay
I just
and
compare
lesbian
gay shit
pride
to Saw?
Saw, yes, you did.
Fuck.
Yeah, you're an asshole. You're a fucking
I'm an
asshole.
Yes, I am.
You're going to hell. The reason why I bring it up is because when you said that, like, is it a bad thing being gay? And I was thinking as though, like, maybe some people would think it's soft. I saw the craziest shit when I was there. I saw about 4 or 5 straight up tatted on the head S.A. Cholo looking dudes. And I was like, ooh, these Cholos are here to beat up some gay people. And then one kissed the other one. And I brain fried. Fucking fried.
So, but that's the kind of the gray area.
The gay area? It actually was the gay area.
Yeah, but the gray area of what masculinity actually is. Like,
right.
It's almost this weird idea that if you were in love with a dude, you can't be masculine, right? Like,
yeah, they corrected that shit real quick.
Yeah, it's really silly because like,
they were like, I like you, eh? All right.
I thought you were gonna talk about going to a drag show, right?
No.
And I've seen videos of these guys in full drag, whooping homophobe guys' asses. I'm talking about dudes got on. You get your ass whooped by a 6'5" dude in heels with eyeliner and fucking.
It's a bit embarrassing.
And lipstick.
But who was the Samoan dude from the NFL that came out after he retired?
Oh my goodness, good point. I don't remember his name.
Boy,
I don't
say it. No.
He came out after he
was
retired.
like the OG Samoa.
Yeah,
you know who.
And those athletes.
Retired.
He was an offensive or a defensive lineman.
Yeah,
he was a big, massive dude.
I think he's in the NFL Hall of Fame.
Right?
Not Palomalu.
Palomalu was a linebacker for the Steelers. Well, retired linebacker for the Steelers.
But
I think what happens is the perception of what gay is and
right
what
is that it's
is.
weak somehow and all this other ridiculousness.
The idea of weakness being aligned with gayness is silly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can be. I've known very soft, well, what would be considered soft or very feminine guys that are 100% straight.
Right.
And I've actually known very masculine, like manly dudes that were 100% gay. Like there's a you know, sexuality is so personal that, you know, we can't necessarily put our finger on it from our perspectives because this is what we were taught and say that's it. Because it's not one thing. You know what I mean? But, hey.
Well, it kind of alludes to like how sensitive is too sensitive.
How
not that
sensitive
gay should be a
too
sensitive
sensitive.
topic, but I mean topics in general.
Well, no, people are sensitive about the gay topic though.
I think we're sensitive about a whole bunch of
Yeah, like how sensitive is.
And I'm
too
wondering,
sensitive?
is sensitivity pressed and pushed by the way we interact on social media now? Is that there's so much pushback of what you can and you can't say, and how you can and say, and how you can and cannot say certain things because of people's level of sensitivity.
Right.
I don't mean that all sensitivity should go out the window.
Right.
But at some point in time, you know, okay, so I was on set, I was directing, and one of my crew members has an alternative lifestyle. I don't know how else to say it because I'm not 100% well versed in all of the vernaculars, right?
Right. Just to be safe,
and
an alternative lifestyle.
Right. And so
Right.
so I asked the question, hey, listen, I don't want to be disrespectful or offensive. So I'm not really sure how to engage with you outside of your name.
Right.
And I was told, listen, that I would prefer to be called, you know, he. And I was like, cool, no problem.
Right.
And I said, but how in going forward, like how should I be addressing you? And I was instructed that, like, you know, that here, this is how you introduce yourself. You know, my name is D, he, him. And I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
And so then if somebody else addresses themselves as a her or she, then now you know.
Right.
And I'm like, cool, no problem. Now, I still had a couple of faux pas throughout the day.
Of course.
Like, high five, girl.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. My bad.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, and they were cool with me the whole time. Like, not a problem. They realize it's a work in progress, and I'm trying to change the vernacular.
Right.
You know, I'm a little old school, and
I
so
think
that's
that
not.
I think that in perspective or
Yeah.
in conjunction with the idea of what is more aware of people being able to say, I'm going to identify the way I want to identify, there should be a certain amount of leeway given, right?
In the
because
beginning.
what we're talking about is an individual that, like, the person that you're speaking of is a female that identifies as a male,
Yes.
correct? Like, I had
Yes.
a student that was a female that identified as a male, and it was all these 70-year-old teachers that refused to call this little girl, because biologically she's a girl,
Right.
a him. And I was like, what the fuck difference does it make?
Right, who
like,
cares?
the fact that you're going to hang up on this one word is going to create strife between
Right.
you and the individual. And I feel like we can kind of carry that forward. Like, what the fuck difference does it make?
Right.
If we're talking about a one-syllable word,
Right.
of course, you know, anatomically, there's a gender,
Sure.
right? But gender in of itself is like the anatomical and like what I identify with are two completely different things. Like, people can identify whatever the fuck they want to, and the fact that people are so, you know, slow,
resistant,
yeah.
right?
To honoring this person, you know, deciding to be who they want to be is, to me, somewhat silly. Because what, you're gonna start a fight for what? Like, what do you gain from that shit? Like,
Well,
I don't
nothing.
understand.
But I think it's because some people are offended by the fact that now has sometimes now taken precedence over their own opinion, right?
Right.
Which, I mean, fuck off. If you're gonna be sensitive about the fact that they're sensitive, then you're being just as sensitive as what you're accusing
Right.
them
No,
of being.
one of the things that we have here is we're two liberal dudes talking about, like, defending the idea that people
Yeah.
can choose whatever.
Yeah,
they
we're
want,
right, you're wrong.
Yeah.
Don't be a dick.
But if I was gonna play the devil's advocate here, right?
Black man is a devil. I like it. Let's see where this goes.
You know what? That's not the traditional term. It's white devil. Doesn't that just roll off
I
the
think
tongue
we've
a lot
actually
better?
lost the white part,
devil.
and we just assumed that the devil is now white because Jesus is black.
Jesus was definitely not a white dude.
Definitely not a white dude.
Jesus definitely didn't have
So
blue
Jesus
eyes and
was a
blonde
man of
hair.
color.
Jesus is definitely a man of color. The Bible says skin of bronze and hair of wool.
Could have
That's
been
what it says.
Jewish.
Well, I mean, like, I'm just saying, nobody on earth on that side of the area on
Yeah.
the world is white.
Right, but the devil's white.
Devil's white devil.
That's fucked up.
I'm just.
That's not cool.
Wait, hold on, man. You don't even believe in the devil, so shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but if I have to fucking have the conversation,
You
why
know what?
does the devil got to be white?
Why does the devil got to be white? Because
It's a story. Why can't the devil be of color too?
I mean, I guess theoretically, the devil could be purple. You feel better now?
Not
White
really,
man?
because then I feel like you're negating my whiteness.
I'm really.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make this an equal opportunity Satan out there for you, so he can be plaid. Feel better? Equal
No,
opportunity.
I would like
devil?
to know that there's a possibility that Satan could be a person of non-whiteness.
The devil's not even a fucking person. Why does it matter?
How do you know? Was Jesus a person?
Jesus was a person.
You can't prove that Jesus was real, though.
Are we really going to talk about
I'm just
this again?
asking a quick question.
If you guys-
can't prove that Jesus was real, you can't prove there's no devil.
Hold on a second. If you guys want to see our banter on,
I think it was on last week, wasn't it?
it was like 2 weeks ago.
Was
Go
2
to
weeks?
YouTube Scholar Center and find out me and this guy, the atheist talking about whether God is real or not.
Wow. Wow. What
How
a
sensitive
dick.
is too sensitive? Don't
You
get
kind of
offended.
a dick.
Was that offended?
Atheist. Yeah, it's a little sensitive.
You were like creationist. And you talked all that shit about
You
me.
guys are fucking ridiculous.
Okay, now I'm fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, don't be sensitive.
Listen, you and I don't be sensitive. How sensitive is too fucking sensitive? See, I think what happens is that pain is polarizing and offensive. When people are offended, it becomes so personal that people want to own their own offense. Like
Right.
it's almost high capital to be offended by an issue of society, and this way you can stand against everything else. Now I can go in my corner like, this is my pain, this is my struggle, and fuck everybody else because I'm gonna own this in and of itself.
I love how people have stolen other people's pain now, though.
Oh yeah. But
Woke. We're
but-
so woke.
But see, okay, now hold on a second. Is that empathy? Is that someone being empathetic, right? Like, we
Is
watch.
it?
Well, I don't know, man. That's why I'm posing the question.
Did you see the video of the? I'm only gonna say BLM because it was BLM in the actual thing that they were saying. I don't know these people were BLM,
Right.
but they were harassing the one white chick that was eating because she wouldn't like stand with them at that exact moment, even though she was. You know what I'm talking about? There were
Yeah.
like 30 people yelling in this broad's face.
Yeah, but see that I don't necessarily think that is what we're talking about because that sounds like a mutation of.
Oh, it is.
Like,
if you
that
yell at
sounds
me
like-
like that at my lunch, I'm fuck you
Yeah,
up.
like just because I just want to eat a fucking sandwich doesn't mean that I don't believe that black people should have.
Well, but
equal
the reason why I
rights.
say
Like,
it is because everybody was yelling at her was white.
Yeah.
And they were hypersensitive to the
Yeah.
activity.
right.
And so they were in her face and they were being hypersensitive
Right.
to the fact that she was not like, fuck yeah. She's like, can I get a timeout real quick?
Right. Well, I mean, the mob mentality is also a big thing, and I think that sometimes individuals are pressured to do things. It's like peer pressure is a real thing. Remember those videos when we were kids, and they had the dude in the high school bathroom trying to give you a joint, like, smoke this.
You're only cool if you have
Yeah,
one.
You're only cool, and
You
then
know
the
what'll happen
whole-
if you tell
the
anybody.
whole "this is your brain on drugs" type shit from
Yeah,
the 80s.
the eggs.
Yeah, man. But I think that when we're talking about how sensitive is too sensitive,
Yeah.
one of the things that we don't want to negate are those individuals that are actually trying to change things, right? Like, is there a difference between being sensitive and being aware?
Yeah,
Is there-
of course there
Yeah,
is.
because we're talking about being aware of a problem versus someone that is just hypersensitive about a problem. And then the flip side of that is how much of like pain is something that we should embrace for the sake of change. Right? Like human beings only progress through discomfort.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
If we're just
If you're comfortable, you ain't changing.
yeah, if you're comfortable for your whole fucking life,
Right.
you're not gonna change. So like when things are uncomfortable, it should be a time when we start communicating with each other. But what happens is, since pain is so polarizing, we just run into our corners and hold on to it without actually having conversations with the other side.
Like, what happened to the days of if you don't like what's being said, then remove yourself from the situation?
Well, I mean, if we're talking about like the climate of America, right now.
Well, because
is-
again, how sensitive is too fucking sensitive?
Right, but in reference to black people, there is no like if you don't like it, just stay in your place type thing, right? There is no if you're not comfortable with this, then like if you don't have something good to say, don't say anything at all. That logic doesn't facilitate change at all. That logic doesn't facilitate any type of forward momentum, right?
I was not thinking about the black issue, right? I was thinking more about along the lines of just the issues via social media. Okay, so this is another portion of why I wanted to bring this up, because I watched something on Netflix called The Social Dilemma, which is a really good documentary on how social media has captured everybody and basically polarized the majority of the people,
Right.
not on purpose. Well, it's on purpose now, but initially it wasn't made that way,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So, I mean, you guys should watch it. It's called The Social Dilemma. It's on Netflix. I think it's in
And
the
you
top 5.
motherfuckers was watching this shit on Instagram right now.
Yeah, this is the first time we've been live on IG, by the way.
Yeah.
Live on any platform in quite a while.
In a long time.
Yeah. And so now we have a wonderful new studio.
Oh yeah, we're at Cuckoo Studios.
Yeah,
Cuckoo Studios, awesome.
Cuckoo. You can check them out on YouTube and also their website, and they have a shit ton of cool shit. So if you're involved in music and you need beats and tracks and everything like that, that's Cuckoo's shtick. That's what they do. They're changing the game.
You guys only see a slight corner of this state-of-the-art studio.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
it's
studio is fully
state-of-the-art.
state-of-the-art, brand new
Yeah.
type shit. But
So anyway, so that's where we're at. So we got to give them big ups because this table belongs to them.
yeah,
But that's it. Everything else is ours. Fuck them. All right, moving on. But when I was watching it, I kept thinking about like, wow, everybody gets fed exactly what they want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like, so there's no dissenting opportunities involved. It's a whole lot of yes man shit going on. Or if you're trying to be socially correct, yes people.
So hold on a second. Is it everyone gets fed or everyone seeks what they want to hear?
Oh no, at this point in time they're getting fed.
Don't get me wrong, YouTube will create an algorithm based on the things that you search.
Right.
So that other things will pop up. Like, I
Right.
kid you not, I watched one video on Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Right.
Like the Ghostbuster people, right?
Right.
I watched one video because I found it kind of interesting because, I have this whole thing about ghosts are bullshit. And
But religion is real, people.
Stop it, right? So, but Ed and Lorraine Warren is pretty awesome, right? And then, I kid you not, next week, I have all this paranormal shit in my feed. I'm like, wait a minute, man. Wait a fucking minute,
One
man.
of the notes from the documentary is do not click on the suggestions.
Right.
Go search it again, but
Right.
don't click on
So,
those because you'll be
what
down a
I'm
rabbit
saying
hole.
what I'm saying here is that if we're talking about people being polarized, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have an appetite for a certain type of media, and then once they consume that appetite, it is an unending flow. It is an unending
because it's
conveyor belt.
dopamine.
Yeah, it's an unending conveyor belt of dopamine that you can access whenever you want. What ends up happening is that it limits your ability to actually listen or pay attention to other people's ideas.
Right, because it polarizes you so much to one side that all you get is yes, yes, yes in your
Right.
feed, and there's no dissenting activities.
Right. I mean, this is, if we're talking about how sensitive is too sensitive, we were to go back to last week's episode, and
Right.
I drew that Goldilocks analogy about how, it's either too hot or too cold, when the truth is actually somewhere in the middle,
Sure.
right? But when we get hurt or we get injured, it's very, very easy. It's easy. Like, it's comfortable to kind of run to the place that we feel the most familiar, where in all actuality.
Mine is in a set of large breasts.
See, that you're familiar there.
I'm very
That's what
comfortable there.
You are a boobologist.
Am I?
Yes, you are a titty tactician. Yes, you are
Am I
a
a
Jedi
kitty
master.
connoisseur?
You are a Jedi master of the areola. Yes, you are.
That was bullshit.
That was bullshit.
You lost me on that one. Everything
No.
else was cool in the game.
See, you're not nerd enough to understand that shit. Obi-Wan Kenobi
I
will
am.
wave his hand and be like, take off your shirt, bitch. And she'll take her shirt off. That's what I'm talking
Yeah,
about. That's you.
I know. These are not
That's
the
you.
droids you're looking for.
Exactly.
I got it.
You
I
can-
fucking know, dude.
Bro,
My nerd game is on point.
I'm saying you can wave your hand at bitches and they do that shit for you, though.
Because you're getting paid.
True.
That's why.
True.
I like to think I'm way fucking cooler than I am, but I'm not. If I do that shit at home, the fuck you talking? No. Mm-mm.
But all right, so when we're talking about like dude shit, right? Like guy shit, like how much of the stop being so sensitive
Right.
and be tough is important, and not only important is it would be refreshing for our culture of today.
Right.
Like how much of this shit. Now I'm not talking about systemic problems that have existed since America started. What I am talking about is like if you could divorce yourself from these ideas that you're consuming through your social media all the time,
Right.
and just toughen up, Buttercup, right? Like
You talking about like when we're all hanging out and we throw them verbal things.
exactly. But I feel like
But see, we grew up, well, I think most of us grew up in an era where shit talking was par for the course. And because I happened to be one of the only white dudes around most of the time in the neighborhood that I grew up in, and the people that I grew up with, that I can't fight everybody.
Right.
You feel me? And I wasn't trying to fight everybody because I
But-
ended up getting my ass whooped. So you had to get good at verbal warfare.
yeah, but one of the reasons why shit talking is par for the course is because now you can talk shit on the internet and there are no repercussions.
Well, that's a problem.
Like you can look in the comment section and
Yeah.
people are talking crazy.
Yeah, but that's
and
a problem.
But these are the same motherfuckers that haven't had even a conversation that would even like warrant them even bringing these types of ideas up.
Hey.
Like you and I will say the meanest shit to each other
Yeah.
all the time.
Yeah.
And it's to a certain extent it's kind of funny, right? But you will say it to my face. I will say it to your face.
Yeah.
Whereas there are people on fucking YouTube
Well,
that are going to write some
they're
wild shit.
internet black belts.
Yeah, the internet black belts. I like that.
Yeah.
Write some wild shit in the comments, but they don't necessarily have the skills, or they might be too sensitive, or they don't want to deal with the repercussions of what will happen. Here's the deal. Can you just say anything to anybody?
These days? Yeah, you can, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess
Because
so.
you can hide.
Yeah, because you can hide. Absolutely. You can keyboard bang. right?
Yeah.
I'm gang banging. I'm the biggest gangster in cyberspace, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm banging hard in cyberspace.
Like you said, there's no repercussions or ramifications from
Right.
what you say online. So you tell somebody to go fuck themselves and
Right.
say something derogatory towards them, they're like, well, what you gonna do? Jump on a plane?
But see, the flip side to that is because people aren't communicating in that manner, individuals become triggered a lot faster. It's like they're effective filters that would allow them to be more sensitive
Right.
to, like, let's say insults or things that are kind of hurtful.
Right.
Is somewhat more sensitive just because they haven't been tempered in some type of like banter in between.
I just laugh whenever I get into it online because half the shit you wouldn't say to my fucking face.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I just laugh and you know, school you verbally.
Right.
I'm good with that.
Right. And when we're talking about, I think we're talking about like almost like the progression of society in itself, right? Is because our devices have somewhat changed, of course, have changed the way we communicate. And there's also has kind of muzzled our ability to kind of grow when it comes to interacting with each other, right? Like,
Why do you think that?
well, because when we talk, I mean, it's hard to stay away from the DNC, the Democratic National Convention, and the RNC, right? Because when you listen to, you know, the constituents, you listen to Biden or you're listening to Donald Trump, right? One of the problems is that they only cater to the constituency, right?
Right.
And we just had 9/11, right?
Yeah.
And I was saying that 9/11 should be like National Love Day. Like, we as Americans
Standing
should
together.
spend time loving each other because, like, if you didn't go to work
Right.
and you worked in the Twin Towers and your friend did, you thought that he was going to come home that afternoon. It's quite possible they didn't, right?
Right.
So this should be in our consciousness, right? But you watch the fucking conventions and everybody is so polarized where we actually have a moment in time where we can take a deep breath and say, hey, you can be a Democrat and you can be a Republican and we should be able to get along. Like, the betterment of the country should be something that we're working towards. But that's not what happens. One of the parties is going to say the other party's evil because that's literally what's happening. And the other
Right.
one's going to say, well, fuck them. They're evil too. That's literally what's happening, right?
Yeah,
and I was
of
like, wait a
course.
fucking minute, man. Like, it's too hot. It's too cold. How come it can't just be just right in the middle, right? So how sensitive is too sensitive? I think idiots become empowered when there's no accountability. Like,
Well, yeah, of course, because again, there's no ramifications. You
Yeah.
don't get held to a standard.
there is no accountability, so your fucking idiot, dumb ass can say whatever the fuck you want. And nobody's gonna punch you in the mouth,
Right.
right?
No, I agree with that and I understand that. And speaking of people not being responsible for the shit that they say, so the NFL just restarted,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was game day this previous weekend.
And wasn't it wonderful to have the NFL back on TV? Like, I love college football.
I don't.
But what?
I like pro ball.
All right. Well, look, college football is awesome, but college football ain't what it was last year or the year before.
No, of
It
course
just
not.
like, I mean,
Well,
there's a bunch of
none of the sports are
bunch of
what they
D2
were.
games on. It's just kind of like, man, I'd rather watch some high school shit if it's gonna be like that.
What I found interesting now is that there's such a huge push for most of the sports teams, if not all of them, around the world, to basically embrace this social justice war, right? And
Acknowledge, at least at the minimum, acknowledge.
at the very minimum,
Yeah, well, I mean, like, all right, look, the NBA is what, 85% black. The NFL is like 75% black. Like, listen, you can't consume you can't be in awe of the athleticism and love these athletes and lift them up on a platform and then ignore the problems that affect them directly. That
Sure you
is-
can.
That,
We've
but
been doing it for years. We can constantly fucking ignore what the hell is going on.
Yeah,
Don't be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous.
Shut up and play,
Shut up
black
and
guy.
play basketball. Like, that's, that is the dance for me, boy, type shit.
Right.
That's what that shit
But
is.
I found the ridiculousness of it is Godell,
Yeah.
right?
The commissioner of the
NFL.
Right.
Has now kind of recanted some of the things that he's said.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, about fucking help me out.
So about
Kaepernick.
yeah,
Sorry, my
about
bad.
Kaepernick and about just social
About
awareness,
kneeling
about
and all this
kneeling,
other kind of shit, right?
And the NFL has.
And there also was another NFL player that also got outed for kneeling and lost his fucking career too.
There's a handful of them, but now the NFL is playing the what is called affectionately the Black National Anthem, like the Negro National Anthem, right? And unfortunately, what happens when people say the Black National Anthem, it feels as though that it disenfranchises white people. I watched like 4 games this weekend. I didn't hear it. They might have played it. I might have been in the bathroom or like fell asleep or some shit. I don't know.
It's fucked
But
up, man.
I missed
Where's
it.
your solidarity?
Exactly. But the point is, even the words for lift every voice and sing is so American. The words that are in that song applies to everyone. And the idea that this is only for black people is somewhat silly. The reason why the song was created is to allow black people to feel as though they're a part of the American aesthetic. That doesn't mean that white people shouldn't enjoy the song and understand the themes of the song.
But goes back to being sensitive and polarizing.
Right, but people felt fucking offended that the NFL is playing the black national anthem. It's like, cut it the fuck out, man. Like, stop it. It's just a song that has a bunch of American aesthetics.
I find it ridiculously interesting that now the person who was enemy number one from the NFL, which was Cap, is they've just kind of swept him away, haven't they?
I don't think he still doesn't have a job. I know he doesn't,
and he won't ever. And he won't ever.
No, he won't.
But I say they just kind of swept him away because they picked up the movement,
right?
And they were like, "Hey, thanks for getting us here. Get the fuck out."
And he got a couple tryouts, but like, statistically on paper, he's still better than a bunch of starting quarterbacks in the league.
Tryouts.
The idea that he can't even be a backup in the league is fucking ridiculous.
The tryouts were a bit bullshit. Because there was a clause in one of the contracts from the NFL that if he did not get drafted by a team, he basically wasn't allowed to pursue any sort of legal action in regards to why he was initially removed from the league. And he was signing away those rights. So he said, fuck you. And then he had his own tryout, which I don't think went very well.
Right. But, I mean, if you look at the NFL, right? The NFL season was over by the time, like, a lot of the shit kicked in, right?
Yeah.
Like, we're talking about, there are a couple horrible things happening in our country simultaneously, right? Like, California is on fucking fire.
Like right now.
Yeah. The hurricane season is not over yet, right? There's still a global pandemic, right?
What?
Global pandemic.
Where's the pandemic?
It's outside. It's out there.
The China virus. I'm sorry. The Wuhan virus. I'm apologizing for both of those things. You mean COVID-19. My bad. I get them mixed up sometimes what the fuck we're calling it. I don't know.
The China virus, huh, Donald? I'm just saying, like, are you speaking for Uncle Donnie over here? I'm just saying,
whatever.
Every time you say some wild shit like that, I can easily say that you repeating what your uncle said. Because you're white, so I could just say that shit, right? Like,
because we must be related.
Yeah, because of course all white people look alike, don't you?
Yeah, of course we do.
Okay.
Especially with a sunburn.
See, I didn't say that shit.
Don't be ridiculous.
Don't be ridiculous.
Where do you think the term redneck comes from?
Oh no, I'm not. I'm leaving that alone. I'm leaving that shit alone. Leaving it all the way alone. I don't want no parts of that type of shit at all.
Proud.
Proud. But so the NFL changing its tune, is it about social justice? Is it about dollars?
Oh, come on, it's about dollars. I'm not saying that they don't have a social justice agenda, right? But I think it's predominantly influenced by finance. But don't you think the same thing about the NBA?
Of course. But I mean,
and soccer and football to the rest of the world.
Yeah, I think that the NBA did something really dope, is that they boycotted a playoff game. And that means the league lost a lot of money.
The NBA didn't.
The players.
That's what
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The players was like, well, fuck this. Like, this is a league that is largely black, right? And any one of these people that were abused or brutalized by the police.
Treated unfairly.
Yeah, treated unfairly. Doesn't matter how we slice it. Could have been me. It could have been either one. It could have been my brother. It could have been my uncle. Could have been a friend of mine, right? And they was like, well, fuck that. We're just going to draw some attention to the issue, more attention to the issue.
Right.
But with the NBA, with the NFL happens is that the movement was somewhat in its infancy stage. It wasn't as intense as it is now, because last year's NFL season was over before George Floyd was killed in Minnesota, right?
But it also wasn't a big deal because it was one quote-unquote second-rate quarterback who said something and did something.
Right. See,
even though he took a knee.
Second rate is rough because
I say quote unquote.
Yeah, because like he had a playoff run and they were he was supposed to be the face of the 49ers if he would have maintained a certain amount of productivity.
Right.
The style of play that he plays in would work well on other teams. Like he can easily or do well in like the Ravens offense, or he could do well in the Kansas City offense. He can do well in other offenses, the style of play that he just has. But yeah, he was the face of the organization at once upon a time. Like they had him being the savior of the Niners at once upon a time, right? But then he takes a knee and it becomes an issue, right?
Right. But the irony was that it was just an issue with him.
Yeah, but it wasn't just an issue with him. Like,
Well, now the whole fucking NFL
Yeah,
is kneeling,
right.
and now they have the option to put particular sayings on the back of their helmets, but not all sayings.
no, not all sayings, of course.
They
not.
can say her name,
Right.
but they can't say Breonna Taylor
They can't say Breonna Taylor
because that would be inappropriate.
Right.
But say her name, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
The Breonna Taylor, the EMT.
say again.
The coach of the team had Breonna Taylor on.
Well, originally they weren't allowed to do that.
Oh,
they
that's
had like
kinda-
16.
That's kind of dope. I mean,
Yeah.
like Breonna Taylor is like the picture of someone that didn't deserve any of that shit. Like, there's no
Right.
way you can fucking slice it.
Yeah.
There's no way. You know how every time one of these shits happens, they try to bring up the criminal background.
She didn't have one. She actually was the EMT.
Yeah,
I think,
she was literally the good person.
Right.
And like, in all actuality, I don't give a fuck if she was a criminal. Like, she was sleeping in her bed and she deserves due process like everybody else.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Like, I don't give a fuck. But that's not the case.
Whoops.
That's not the case. Oops, we're sorry. We thought you were selling drugs. Oh, you're black. You got to be selling some drugs, right?
Sprinkle a little crack on her.
Yeah, just sprinkle a little crack on her. That is a horrible Dave Chappelle joke. But
I didn't say it. Dave Chappelle said
yeah,
it.
like sprinkle a little crack on her. Like, but you know what's funny? That joke is fucking 10 years old now.
Yeah.
It's got to be over 10 years old, and the appropriateness of it and like how poignant it is right now is somewhat fucking sad.
Yeah, it
right?
is.
It's fucking heartbreaking. But I mean, I feel like the demons that plagued my great grandparents are still here plaguing us today, right? We're talking about, and I say great grandparents, we're talking about 100 years removed.
Right.
I'm not even going back as far as 200, 300, 400 years. We're talking about, like, I saw white people holding up Dr. Martin Luther King as a non-violent activist. This is how you protest.
Absolutely.
White people killed Dr. Martin Luther King, bro. Like, you fucking shot him. Like, that's non-violent, bro. Like, what are we talking about?
Minor detail.
Yeah, like, protest non-violent. Yeah. And catch these bullets, right? That's non-violent. Non-violent
Minor
bullets.
detail.
Non-violent bullets. Here's the point. If Dr. King was alive today, he'd be fucking disappointed.
Well,
He would be like, what the fuck, man? Like, really? I died for this shit, and you motherfuckers didn't do anything?
Nothing. Listen. In all fairness, it wasn't a wasted life.
No, it wasn't.
He absolutely is a martyr at this point in time,
Right.
and should be revered as such. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Right.
He certainly earned his spot in history, as
Absolutely.
many activists have.
Right.
Right. But again, kind of getting back to this is like, I'm wondering at what point in time do pro sports, where do they take this? What is the line, and when do they go back to normal? Do they go back to normal?
I think that when we have systemic change, I don't think the athletes should ever stop speaking. I don't think, because I've been hard on athletes. I've been hard because, like, you know, I also, like, we're all the black dudes that have degrees in political science, and
Why
we're
aren't
all
they speaking out?
like, why aren't they speaking out? And
Because they're busy being the only black dude in their field.
they're the only black dude in that college class.
Isn't that your boy?
Yeah, right, exactly. It's my boy at the damn engineering firm. He's the only black dude in the building. He's got a, hi, Bill, hi, how are you doing? He sees me, it's a whole death. Like, what's going on,
Like
right?
the Obama action.
Yeah, like the Obama action. But the point is, like, those individuals are doing work on, a lot of those individuals are doing work on a very, like, grassroots base.
Yeah.
And they literally don't have the same type of platform
No, of course
as
not.
someone like a LeBron James, right? But, so the athlete should never really start talking. It doesn't necessarily mean the athlete is the expert.
Right.
And sometimes the athlete is emotional, and emotions cloud messages. Right. Like sometimes an emotional message is very important and very warranted, but sometimes an emotional message actually taints the goal of the message, right? Like, you can say some shit out of anger and fuck up everything, or you can say some shit out of anger and people will like, oh shit, like.
Well, it also
that's
lives
important.
in effigy.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. It can live on in infamy. Like, you could say some shit and people will be like, yo, what the fuck did he just say?
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, man. Like,
And you're like, oh shit, I didn't mean to say that.
yeah, I didn't mean to say that shit. When you probably did. It was, the emotion was real, but
Right.
yeah, I don't think the athlete should ever stop speaking, because, like, when we're talking about, you know, the struggle, like, you have a people that are, you know, not necessarily, that don't have access to the rights as everyone else, right? But these same people are the ones that are called upon to basically entertain the world, right? Like, that in and of itself, which means that, does that mean that we can't use our platforms? Like, I was hard on Cardi B, right? It was really
I know.
hard
You were
on
way
fucking
hard
Cardi
on her.
B, right? But at the same time, man, I'm not necessarily.
She's also had some slip ups though.
Yeah, I'm not necessarily mad at her stripper ass, talking
Listen,
shit
I-
about social injustice. But what I am worried about is, does someone like Joe Biden actually respect what the fuck she has to say?
No, of course not. But
No.
it's a game.
All right, that's my problem.
It's ridiculous. I mean, listen, my friend Nikki Benz
Mm-hmm.
hit me to a few things having to do with Candace Owens and Cardi B going back and forth. And Cardi B has said a bunch of
Hold on a
disparage.
second. Can you please tell the world who Nikki Benz is?
If you don't know who Nikki Benz is, then you just must.
I don't know who the
jerk
fuck
off.
Nikki Benz is.
How the fuck do you know who Nikki Benz is?
Josh, you know who Nikki Benz is? Holy
We
shit.
all know. Fucking gorgeous Canadian.
A Canadian adult performer.
Yeah.
Oh, well, see, there you go. What, bro? What?
You ain't part of the Benz Mafia?
No, not part of the Benz Mafia.
Hashtag.
Hi, Nikki. Is she watching?
I don't know.
Okay. Well, what up, Nikki?
She doesn't like me right now because we're on opposite ends of the political spectrum,
Word.
which is a whole other thing.
Okay.
But
Is
listen,
Nikki a Trump supporter?
she's not
need-
she's not a dumb girl. She does her reading.
We need to
She
get her
knows-
ass in here.
She knows
and
what
have a
she's doing.
conversation.
So privately we had a few conversations, and she hit me to a few videos, and she has some good points, even though I don't necessarily agree with everything. Cardi has had some fucking verbal faux pas,
I mean,
to put it mildly.
yeah, but to say that someone that we can't hold her up to that standard though, right?
Because I think the same because she's not in the political arena,
Yeah,
but she has
like-
said some very derogatory things.
Right.
I think
But
she said something about people being chinky-eyed.
Yeah, bro.
and
Once
some other
again,
shit like that.
listen. See, you can't take the slightly educated or the slightly informed
Right.
and dismiss the ignorance, because they coexist at the same time, right? Like, you can't say, oh, she's so smart, and dismiss all the ignorant shit that she said, because she's going to say some ignorant shit. She's not necessarily a polished orator on political. She's just someone that thinks. And oftentimes people think the wrong shit. And if they have a platform, they might say the wrong shit because they're thinking the wrong shit.
Yeah,
so, like,
absolutely.
this is why I feel like, yeah, you can kind of take what she says seriously. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like...
Well, again, I think she's just speaking out because she has a platform to speak out.
Of
I don't think
course.
there's anything wrong with that. I think
mean-
if you have a platform, you should.
Bro, you got a platform. We talking on this shit right now.
Yeah, all 12 people.
Yeah,
I don't know what that
all
number
12,
is. I can't see it.
all 7 of you motherfuckers that are watching this shit right now. Yeah.
We're right around
Appreciate you 7 motherfuckers,
there.
though.
7 at a time.
Yeah, 7 at a time, man. 7, right. But I think that when we're talking about sensitivity, right, I think that there's a fine line between embracing change and just getting tougher and just doing the hard work, because sometimes being sensitive will chase you away from doing the actual hard work because you're so
You're too
focused
fucking
on
sensitive.
Yeah, you're too fucking
I don't
sensitive.
give a fuck.
Well, I mean, okay,
Yeah,
well,
about being
what's-
sensitive,
But what's
sorry.
the difference between sensitive and offense? Like, being
Oh,
sensitive
I'm
and being
highly
offended.
offensive.
Yes, you are highly offensive, but like, all right. So I heard Donald Trump say that Joe Biden is a puppet of the radical left, and that he's the one that's in charge of all this other, all the horrible shit that's happening in all the, Democratic states like
Right.
California and
Yeah.
Seattle, Washington, and
He's a
Colorado.
mastermind.
Yeah, he's the mastermind behind
Joe
all this shit,
Biden
right?
is a mastermind.
So the wildest part about that shit, right?
Right.
Is it's literally it's like a straw man argument. It's not a real argument.
No.
It's just a straw man argument.
It's
And
just
and
something to.
right. They just lit the shit on fire and everybody's looking at it. But
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say here is that no one's willing to do the work of actually figuring out what is actually real and what isn't. It's because, like, if we go back to what we were talking about earlier, we have unending streams of information that we can continuously consume whenever the fuck we feel like it. And you can continuously feed the bullshit voice that's in your head saying the same dumb shit over and over again.
Which voice?
Well,
Because I have a few.
you have a few?
I do.
Do they argue with each other?
Constantly.
Constantly? That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
It's really awkward when I'm alone jerking off.
there's some medication for that.
I don't want to take medication. I feel like it clouds my judgment.
Yeah, it probably does. It probably get in the way of the jerk action.
Me being a jerk or jerking?
Both.
Can I be a jerk jerking?
Yes.
That sounds like an oxymoron.
You get paid for that shit. You have an
I do.
OnlyFans.
Goddamn right I do.
Motherfuckers put change in your bank account for being a
Change?
jerk. Well, I'm just saying.
No. No.
Hey, did you see that teacher that got in trouble?
Yes.
This bitch.
Because she had only she's hot too.
Oh, this is bad. She all the way bad. This bitch was on an
Hot
OnlyFans. Why? Because we don't make enough motherfucking money. Okay.
She literally was selling her ass for school supplies.
For school supplies, and then going back to the classroom. Like,
Here you go, baby. Here's an eraser.
I don't know what grade she was teaching, but I hope she was teaching like elementary school kids. Because if I was in high school and I saw Miss Rodriguez's ass cheeks, all that cake she had, I would have screenshotted that shit and passed it out to all the homies. I would have made all kinds of fake accounts and be like, yo, son, look at Miss Rodriguez getting busy on OnlyFans. They fired her ass quick, fast, and hurry. Yes,
I
they
think
did.
That's fucked up.
It's fucked up to fire her?
Yeah.
Or it's fucked up that she had to do it because she wasn't making enough money?
Both of those.
Okay, cool. I'll sign off on the fucked up.
Listen, she doing what she got to do to further these students' education.
Is that what it is?
Okay? She's doing it for the kids, Kip. Don't hate on the broad
Word.
because she's shaking it for the kids.
Is that what it is?
It could have been. I don't know.
Okay, cool.
She might have just tried
this
to
is-
buy a new car. I have no fucking
Yeah,
idea.
it's philanthropy ass shaking. It's philanthropy booty
was
shaking.
Phil
at
of
that
something.
point. Yeah, it's Phil of something. This is charity ass shaking.
Look, so this is the part of the show that Kip hates because I'm gonna go ahead and
Oh shit.
and open it to questions. I love questions. Now, obviously, we don't have a live. Well, we do have a live audience today because we are live on Instagram. But I like making Kip uncomfortable,
Bro,
with
because this is gonna be some
stories
porn
from
shit.
set.
This is gonna be some wild porn shit.
Yeah.
I'll-
So usually our engineer Josh has.
You do know that I was a choir boy, right? Sang in the choir growing
Yeah,
up.
most of these girls
A
were
lot.
singing in the choir
They
too.
probably was.
Uh-huh.
I mean, but humming on your balls and singing in the choir are two different things.
Yeah, but somehow very similar.
Holy shit. I'm going to get struck by lightning just sitting next to your motherfucking ass.
Well, if you want me to do my next scene with like a preacher's outfit on, I can do it.
Oh,
I will
Lord
beat
have
cheeks on a fucking cross. I don't give a damn.
I heard that you beat cheeks on a fucking in a cemetery on a fucking like coffin or some
Oh
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, like,
Oh hell yeah.
Is
I never
nothing
told you about. Oh shit. Yeah, that's a good story
is
right
that
there.
is
Thank
nothing
you, Kip.
fucking sacred?
No, a headstone. Nothing. Actually,
Look,
hold on. Wait.
I'm sorry.
Okay, so let me set the fucking
Look,
stage.
and you fucking on my great granddaddy's like grave. I'm fucking you
oh,
up.
I made his fucking afterlife.
I'm fucking you up.
I made his fucking
he got a
afterlife.
show.
He was looking at
He was
some
looking
nice
up.
ass titties.
Oh man, I'm fucking you up for that one.
So we were doing this movie called Debbie Does Dallas Again, which is a
Okay.
cult classic.
Cult
and
classic.
they've done it over like, I don't know, too many fucking times. This was one of those times. So I don't even remember how we ended up in a cemetery, but it was a real cemetery. It was a real like display coffin, you know, like where they put the
Holy
body
shit.
in the coffin.
Right.
And so I had to fuck Monique Alexander on top of the coffin and inside the coffin. So it was pushed up against a tree in the middle of the cemetery after hours.
There's definitely some bad juju that comes from that type of shit. It sounds like some.
Stop
some
being ridiculous.
I'm-
Don't be ridiculous.
it sounds like some type of ceremonial. I've got to fuck in a coffin to
I
do
did-
this magical spell type shit that you're
I
talking
did
about. Right?
draw
You
the
know, right?
line.
Oh, you
when-
drew the line.
I have morals.
Please expand on.
I have
expound
fucking
on where.
morals.
Okay, where was the line drawn? I am curious.
Well, I'm about to tell you.
Please
I
do.
was fucking telling you, and then you cut me off with your fucking holier than thou
I'm
self-righteous
just saying,
ass.
bro. This shit sounds like some fucking. You know, there's got to be some bad juju. Go ahead, bro. Go ahead.
You sure? You're not gonna fucking interrupt me again?
No, I'm not.
God
I
damn
want to
it.
hear. I want to hear it.
So at one point in time, the director, who was, I think, just kind of being a dick at the time to Monique, was like, I want you guys to lean over that headstone
Oh,
right there
you-
and fuck doggy. And I was like, look, I don't feel comfortable fucking on some family member's headstone.
Thank you, D. He does have a heart.
Yeah, it was
Kind of.
buried inside Monique at that moment.
Oh,
This is another
Lord.
story. But that was the line right there.
That was the
That
line.
was the line. I can fuck on this coffin.
But-
I can close my eyes in the middle of the cemetery and jerk to pop, because at that time I
Jerking
had
off
to.
in the cemetery, D.
With furiosity,
Ferocity.
furiosity. No, that day was furiosity.
Furiously jerking in the.
Yeah, I'm making up a Trump word. Furiosity.
Holy shit.
The forearm was popping. It was fucking ridiculous. Don't hide. Don't hide.
Nah, man. Come on, man. Put that away.
No. That's the moneymaker.
Oh, okay.
Got to go lefty. We're all good.
Oh, the stranger. Lefty's the
Hey,
stranger.
no, that's the familiar.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Who jerks
on
off with the right? That's fucking awkward.
Really?
Yeah.
Aren't you right-handed?
Left-handed.
Oh, see.
Ambidextrous.
No
I mean, I can
wonder.
jerk with my right if I have to.
I'm ambidextrous. He's
But then right when I'm getting ready to pop, I have to switch it.
Thank you for holy shit.
Yeah.
You know, this is information that I absolutely don't need. You know, I could live my whole life.
Absolutely need this information.
Really?
How else would you find out about the shit that you've been watching for years?
I haven't been watching that shit. I've never seen someone fuck over granddaddy's fucking headstone.
I said I didn't do that, Kip. What kind of fucking person do you think I am?
An innovator.
Yeah.
An innovator, if you will.
I brought character.
See, he was too sensitive, so he couldn't fuck over somebody's dead
I
grandfather.
just felt fucking bad.
Did you feel bad?
I did. I had a conscience.
See, man, I always like to say, like, you're the Grinch. Like, you know how the Grinch doesn't have a heart? Like, you're a mean one, Mr. Grinch.
I have a heart.
Okay, all right, man. I'm just saying, boy.
Especially when I'm beating cheeks. I feel very emotional about it.
You feel very emotional.
Yeah.
When you're when you choking these bitches halfway unconscious.
Oh, completely unconscious.
Right? Completely unconscious.
Talking about.
Fuck, that just sounds like a crime scene.
It could.
She's unconscious. He gets his mouth. Stop it. Wake up, bitch. Wake up.
Oh, no. That's not how you do it. You don't do the wake up.
No.
When they go unconscious, you smack the shit out of them, and then they wake up.
Oh,
It's fucking awesome.
fuck. Is this what I'm doing with my life?
No, that's what I'm doing with my life.
Well, how the fuck did I get here? Did I read all that Shakespeare shit for this?
Yes. Yes,
Holy
your
shit.
life has been reduced to rubble because of your fucking company, which
Yes.
is me.
Yeah. I love this guy. He's kind of cool.
I'm
Even
all
though
right.
He chokes bitches unconscious.
And does not go to jail. That is the epitome of white privilege if I ever heard it.
Look, man, you'll never hear a sentence about me choking nobody.
I
Fuck
will.
that.
It'll be in the police report. And it'll be public awareness.
Look, man. Look, if some shit happens to me, right?
Yeah.
Like if like I'm ended up, you know, handcuffed and choked to death, I want fucking fire and brimstone.
Handcuffed.
Okay,
Wow. I
want-
gotta tell you the handcuff story next
Really?
time.
Really?
Jay knows what I'm
Hold on a
talking
second.
about. I don't
Did you
know if
see
she's
how-
watching or not, but Jay knows the handcuff story.
Oh, Jay knows that. Oh, wait a minute.
All right.
It's a great story.
Is this the dressed up
You
like a
like-
cop and I couldn't get the
Yeah,
key story?
yeah,
That is
yeah,
a great
yeah,
story,
yeah.
though.
I'll
Let's
tell that one the
Say
next
that
time.
one for next
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Say that one for next time. Okay.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Well, look,
It was awesome for me.
Oh, she is watching.
Yeah.
She's what?
Oh,
What up,
she is?
Jay?
You see her in there?
Hi, Jay.
Hi, baby.
Look, man, you and I think what happens is that it becomes a glimpse into the wild experiences that you've had.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure that you could talk about this shit for days.
Yeah, unconsciously.
Oh, Lord have. All right, leave in the comments if you
That's
enjoy.
when Jay looked up and she was like, yeah, that's how it goes.
Leave it in the comments if you enjoy Dee's expose of.
Oh, I don't give a fuck if you enjoy it or not. It's staying in the goddamn show. That's it.
Oh,
It's an outlet.
all right.
And they love it. I don't want to hear any different. Just because you notice the whole time I was telling the fucking story, he has not stopped doodling.
Yeah,
He
man.
ain't taking notes for shit. That's his uncomfortable fucking knee-jerk reaction.
I'm uncomfortable as shit right
Yeah,
now. Like,
he
like
just did. Oh my
you know,
god, that's
look,
fucking terrible.
You know why? Because I'm imagining the the funeral, right? And the pallbearers carrying old Grandpa Jim, right?
I would've
And
fucked on
who
his
everybody
coffin.
loved old Grandpa Jim. And they, we walked down, we sang the songs, we lowered him into the dirt, we dropped some flowers on him, and then 10 years later, you are busting mad nuts on his grave.
Yeah.
What in the ever-loving fuck? Got to be some bad juju for that
Do it
shit.
for
I'm
Uncle
just saying.
Jim.
Do it for Uncle Jim.
Yeah.
I'm just
Or
saying.
did you say
Uncle Jim
grandpa? Or you said, what'd you say?
Grandpa Jim, Uncle Jim, it don't make no difference.
Whatever.
Hey, I guarantee you, Grandpa, Uncle Jim, he might have been like, he might have tried to reach up and give you a dap for that shit.
I would have given it to him.
Yes. Holy shit.
I would beat cheeks while somebody's funeral was going on in the background. I don't care. I don't. Because
You,
why?
sir,
Because
are
why?
an absolute savage.
Professional.
Oh.
I am a consummate professional.
Oh, is that what it
I
is?
will not be distracted.
Oh, so this is refined professionalism right
Yes.
here. This is like forged in the fires.
Fucking focus.
Okay,
We
all
goddamn
right, all
athletes
right.
out here.
You really?
Oh, we not?
Okay, I guess so.
Yeah, huh?
I guess so. I guess so.
All right, listen. We're going to end the show on that note.
Please,
Thank
can
you
we end
guys
the
for
show on that
watching.
note?
Please leave a comment in the bottom, well, below or on top or wherever the hell the comment
Yes.
section is. in
Ladies,
this.
feel free to slide into the DMs.
Oh
Just
my
go ahead and
God.
slide.
Even if it's just a short slide. If you haven't subscribed already, please go ahead and click the subscribe link so you know when we do these updates. And if you have any comments, we'll read them. And if we don't like them, we'll fucking delete them.
I want all the smoke.
Yeah, he does.
I will reply to the comments.
I don't because I'm hypersensitive
Yeah.
and I'll talk shit about you.
YouTube, Scholar in the Center. Love.
Scholar.
I think very deeply.
Sinner.